Some people see passengers. I see people with stories worth sharing. This is Electric People. And tonight I talk with Susan from Be Single No More about speed dating, loneliness, and why meeting in person still matters. Oh, yeah, it's time to ride with Electric Pete, where the wheels are clean, the vibes are high, and the future's fully charged. We've got that rideshare love. No gas, just go. Full charge, full power. Now let's roll. Well, welcome to the Electric Pete. I'm Electric Pete and glad you connected with me. We met after one of your events in Philadelphia, and I brought you home here in my Uber. And I thought that your story was really, really interesting. Okay. And for the people meeting you for the first time, tell us who you are and what Be Single No More is.
Yeah, so I'm Susan Mitchell, and I was born and raised in Philadelphia. And Be Single No More is a speed dating company that I founded in 2018. So it just turned 8 years old. And yeah, I've had about 220 events so far and counting. And yeah, it's a speed dating company. I do different speed datings for different ages, areas, sexual orientations, and it's been a really amazing 8 years so far.
Wow. Now I went and calculated 220 divided by 8 years. That's like one every other week.
Yep. And I
So you're
and I
very
couldn't
busy.
and I couldn't actually do it for a little over a year due to COVID. So it's really kind of like 6.5 years. So I do about one a
Oh,
week.
okay. Okay. Oh, well, that's really fan. Wow. 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 Okay. So what inspired you to start um, uh, Be Single No More?
So my sister went to a speed dating about 10, 11 years ago, and I was like, wow, speed dating, like that's so interesting. I've only ever heard of it like on movies and things like that. So it just seemed really like different, and I felt like, oh, I could do that. I could host events and make mine with different you know, sexual orientations, ages, areas, because I did find a lot of speeding companies focused a lot on the center city of Philadelphia area, 20s and 30s, and I felt like there was a need for other events, and I have a background in events and everything, so I was like, let me start my own company, and I did.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so your sister kind of opened your eyes to this, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really
Mhm.
that's really so how was your first event? How did that come about?
Yeah, it went really good. I just created a Facebook page. Eventbrite is how I sell a lot of my tickets, and I just started, advertising just through social media, and people found me, and it was a great event. Every single one has really been positive, and a lot of enjoyment is found. I love hosting them, and I really think people enjoy attending them. And I really want people to be comfortable and at ease to meet people because they
Hmm.
are putting themselves out there, trying something new. Dating,
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
be can kind of be scary. So yeah, I try to kind of make it into a structured, fun experience.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit different than what everybody's doing right now, which is kind of like online dating, right?
Right.
And this is really one-on-one. Well, tell me about like an event. Tell me about what happens at an event so people are kind of aware of that.
Yeah, so you buy a ticket on Eventbrite, besinglenomore.eventbrite.com. And yeah, and then you come to the event and I greet you and I set you up with a name tag. And then if it's a heterosexual event, men will rotate every 5 minutes or so to the next woman. So men on one side, women on the, other if it's a table, or if it's sometimes I do them I do them at lounges, so it's kind of in a lounge atmosphere. And every
Okay.
5 minutes, I ring a bell, and men move to the next woman. And I have papers that I give out, and you put those that you're interested in. and I collect the sheets. And then within 24 hours, if Robert picks Stacy and Stacy picks Robert, on their papers, mutually chosen, they'll get emailed their match results. And
Hmm.
it kind of takes the pressure off because it's the paper system. And my sister actually helps me at the events as well. So,
Okay.
so she kind of full circle and helps me. And if it's a, gay or lesbian event, then it's just, depending on where you're seated, it's more of a, whoever moves is just, we do a bunch of rounds and,
Hmm.
it's kind of random.
Hmm. Now, what are the age groups, I guess, that you kind of go to and from in your regular, normal speed dating events?
So I do 25 to 35. I do 30s and 40s. I sometimes do 20s and 30s. And yeah, and then I do that for the heterosexual, Jewish speed dating, gay men, lesbian, bisexual. I also do the LGBTQ plus speed friending for those that maybe aren't interested in dating right now or seeking a romantic partner. They can just meet friends.
Uh-huh. So, oh yeah, okay. So now, I'm kind of looking at this, and is this something? I mean, you could maybe, um, uh, I mean, for people to meet people, but it doesn't have to be a romantic thing. It can just be a friend thing too, right?
Absolutely. You can use these events. I mean, the speed friending, certainly. And then when it's the speed dating, some people are just looking to meet people. They're new to Philly. They just kind of want to, meet people and see where it goes. You don't have to go off and get married immediately. It can be just used as a night out, to see maybe you're recently divorced, widowed, out of a relationship, seeking just kind of getting back into the scene.
Hmm. And I mean, okay, so this is you talk to people for 5 minutes, you move to the next person, you move to the next person, next person. Can anybody kind of get out of line, as in not go to the next person if they are, I mean, what happens there usually?
Well, it's 5 minutes, so it's structured. So even if you are connecting with somebody, you do have to move to the next person, but you can
Okay.
certainly stay after, when the event is over and hang out. The lounge or bar that I have them at is open. So I always say, continue the conversations without being timed, after the event. But yeah, I mean, we keep it a structured way so everybody gets the opportunity to meet everyone.
Hmm. All right. So now here's why do you think people struggle connecting today? Do you think loneliness is a big issue, than people admit? Um,
Yeah. Absolutely. I think even though the internet, in general, online, has brought us closer together in some aspects, with video chatting and, texting and everything, but it's also brought people apart. A lot of people stay at home. They're kind of disconnected with that face to face in person. And it's important to get people out in person in a social way to really, vibe off each other, that eye contact connection, especially in the dating world. I
mhm,
think there's an online dating is great. It's an option, but it only can go so far when you're not in person, really seeing the person's energy and vibe. And now with there's a lot of AI and chat GPT and things. So you really want to be in person to really get that spark to see if there's a connection. And nobody has their phones out at my events. It's
oh,
everybody's just very dialed into the conversations, which I think is unique, today.
yeah. Okay. So tell me about that. Tell me about, kind of the rules that kind of perhaps set you apart from other speed dating venues.
Yeah, so I do cater to different niche, like I said, sexual orientations, Jewish, age specific. I also do run a nice structured event. I really make sure it's timed and I do the papers. And it's not that you don't have to have I don't put like rules that you can't have your phone out, but people are so engaged in the event they don't have time to just like you know what I mean? They only have 5 minutes. So, to make a great impression on each person. So it's nice to see people really who come to my events are ready to dive in and meet people and experience the night. And it's just a great group of people and a great energy, more than even the bar scene. When you're at the bar scene, you don't really know what people are looking for or, what their situation is. But at a speed dating, okay, if it's a lesbian event or a gay event or Jewish and age specific, well, everybody here is single. They're this age, they're this religion or sexual orientation. And I think it takes a lot of those check boxes that people are here to meet that person.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow, that's really, huh. Um, all right, so I mean, people know what they're quote unquote getting into. People know what they're there for. Are they pretty relaxed from the beginning, or are they nervous about it? And do you think? And how many? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people, now you can like research speed dating online, stuff like that, YouTube videos, but I think a lot of people are nervous when they get there if it's their first time, and that's understandable. But once they see I hosted at really nice venues, I welcome them, my sister welcomes them, and I
Hmm.
get people the energy. I feel I make sure people are relaxed, they get to sit where they like, they might purchase a cocktail, and it's right away I feel people quickly start to relax. And then once the event starts, I feel
Hmm.
all nerves. I've heard from many people, almost
Hmm.
everybody, they're like, oh, once this started, it was easy. We're just having conversations. There was nothing
Right.
to be nervous about. It was way less pressure than they thought it was going to be. And it's just conversations, it's just
Hmm.
having a nice night out, and I feel like everybody there has been really just supportive, even supportive of one another, even if people aren't, maybe like matching, maybe they know, but it's still you say, that was some really a nice conversation. It was nice meeting just new people, meeting, having great conversations. Like it's an opportunity, I feel, to talk to people one on one for 5 minutes. Everybody has a story out there. Everybody, and they're single, so they can relate with each other. Like, what other events have you tried, or what's your experience? And you learn from each other, and support. And I've even had people meet at the events and then come to other speed datings together. Like they're kind of like speed dating, like like they go to these events together now. They met like a buddy to go to the speed datings with, and because maybe they don't have a lot of single friends, so this way they have single people they can maybe go to singles parties or events too.
Hmm. Well, have you had any um oh, have you had any success stories, let's
Oh, for
say,
sure.
that
Yeah. Many
tell me about those.
marriages. Yeah, many
Uh-huh.
marriages, relationships, friendships, engagements, families, people have had children. I mean, it's they circle back with me. Either they come to
Uh-huh.
visit at other events and they'll
Uh-huh.
say they're not here for the event. They're here to just share their news that it does work, and they're like
Uh-huh.
walking testimonials, or they'll email me, and it's really fulfilling to know that I'm like making a difference. People that wouldn't have met otherwise have the opportunity to meet somebody in a organic kind of in-person way.
Hmm. Hmm. That's the number one testimonial when somebody comes back to you and really says that
Mhm.
this worked. So that's really great.
It's cool.
Um,
Really cool.
well, the advice that you might give to people, um, afraid to put themselves out there. What's the biggest first date mistake?
So I feel a lot of people go into speed dating or dates in general or dating with a lot of check boxes. They feel like they have to have such specific like ideas, they have to live in a certain distance or be a certain height or make a certain amount of money or have, these certain interests they have to have. And I feel like sometimes you meet people and it just clicks and they might be into something you're not interested in and vice versa, but you can explore that, whatever, if they're interested in hiking, maybe, they'll open you up to that. And if not, couples can have separate interests. Not everything has to be, I mean, as long as the connection's there, the spark is there. You don't have to have all the same interest, you know? And I think a lot of times, even I've heard it speed dating where, oh, I thought I was going to have somebody who was really into what I was into, but we clicked and we made it work and we liked that the same, we have the same, basis of what we want out of life. And it didn't matter. I was interested in cooking or they were interested in sports or whatever, or they lived a little further. They were a little more out of my age range than I thought, and when you're at speed dating, it all just kind of goes out, like that's the person. You're not like online where it's like, oh, their distance or their age or this picture or that picture. It's like people get really into their head, but when you're at an in-person event, you see the person, not the check boxes.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I think that's really good. Certainly, that's the way we've done it for millennia.
Hmm.
And now, because of this new technology that we have, people think that you have to do it that way. But this is telling me that just the regular people to people way works really well. Still,
Yep, it
that's
still
great.
works. It's the same thing. I mean,
So,
technology has advanced us, but sometimes some things are just it doesn't matter the time or the year. It's still dating is an in-person thing.
yeah, because you're going to have to be in person. You're not dating online, right?
Not dating your
Which is,
computer. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So, what do you see as the biggest green flag, the go flag for something like this when you're looking at people sitting and talking and all of that? What do you see as the big, oh, well, that's looking like it's working out, that conversation.
It's a great question. Yeah. I think people that are just honestly open and just like ready to just smile, eye contact, shake their hand, be open, people that are, have questions kind of, but also let the conversation flow, make the other person comfortable. Smiling goes a long way. Like basic things that people don't think matter go a long way. Just, you have 5 minutes and it's like, some people are still thinking about the last conversation, which is, understandable, but people that really just like, hi, my name is, start off with maybe a compliment or some question to just like relax people, and I always can tell like that energy, where somebody is just ready to really like tell me about you and, and give and take. And those are really some of the great, you can feel the vibe from people that are really open and just being themselves and
Mm-hmm,
just ready to just be friendly and positive, like
mm-hmm,
positivity, you have that happy vibe coming into that conversation, because maybe somebody is still a little nervous or maybe the person they met before wasn't the best, whatever it is, great conversation so you can bring that energy back into the positivity.
mm-hmm. Now, do you have, okay, so the procedure on this, all right, how this happens. So people write down, okay, I like this, I like Joe, or I like Jane, or I like, Harry. Um, and then you take all that home and you do the match, and then you email the people, right? And
Correct.
that's how they know, and they have, um, uh, so people who chose each other are then notified. If
Correct.
one person chose somebody from the other side, but that person didn't choose the first person, you don't do it. It's just the
Nope.
people that
Mutually chosen. It's a match.
matched each other. Okay, okay, that's interesting. Um, um, I mean, this is just a concept that it just is amazing to me. Okay, and full disclosure, I've been married for 33 years. Um, and marriage is a lot of work, of course. But I met my wife at work. So, and I did, that was the old fashioned way, I guess. I don't know.
The best
People
way,
do
meeting
that.
in person
Yeah.
organically. That's
Well,
great. Good for
well,
you, Pete.
well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's been a lot of work. Um, and so I mean, is there anything else that you have that you think that people um, would be able to understand about what it is that you do?
Well, at the end of the day, it's really about bringing people together, making people feel comfortable. And like a speed dating, they depict it in movies as like funny or whatever, and they're like, who comes to these things? And it's like, they're people, they're single people ready to just meet, ready to have a good time, but genuine people. And even people that maybe didn't meet somebody at the event, because about like 60 to 80% get at least one match. But even if you don't, it's still a nice night. Like somebody will say, oh, even if they didn't get a match, it was still fun. They saw a venue, they got out, they met a friend, it's never, they got a book recommendation, a movie recommendation. I mean, I hear so much of that. Like they didn't expect that. They expected like, oh, if they don't meet anybody, then it was like a waste. And then they realized that no, it wasn't a waste. They were out, they learned like what other single people like, wow, there are other single people in Philly, it's not just them and the same struggles. And it's, when it comes to dating and Philly and everything. And, I have people come back to other events and they meet their person then, or even if they still don't, it's still just, it's fun, at the end of the, and I feel like people put a lot of pressure on themselves. And when they're there, they're like, hey, this was a really good time.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's interesting because even somebody that is not looking for a relationship could just go out to just, yeah, as you said, just talk to people. Interesting. Well, my gosh, I want to thank you, Susan. This was fantastic, and I mean, I know that you came on. I appreciate it, and we don't know what this was going to be, but it was a nice little conversation, right?
Totally. Thank you, Pete. And I really think it's great everything you do, Uber and turning it into the podcast, because everybody has a story and you really have really taken that and made a podcast of it. So, I mean, we connected right away. I felt your energy as soon as I got in the car. You have your whole, setup. And I really think it's great how you see people and you bring out the stories and Philly and everything. And I really appreciate the time. And it was a really a great conversation for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And I, it's the stories are what matters. People's stories and finding out about people. And you hit it. My tagline is every rider has a story.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's my job to find out what that is.
That's awesome.
That's
That's awesome.
kind of how I do that. But again, thank you very much. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I mean, really just you had great questions. And it's really just, I think people with dating, they make it a lot in their head. And I feel it's simple. You like someone, you write it down, you connect after, follow up is a big one. Just because you
Yeah.
get the match, you want to make sure you reach out to that person, set up a date, you'll get in person, and see where it goes, explore that. And, to get people in person, like I said, and then to really continue with the journey of getting to know each other, and how great is it to say you met at a speed dating, no matter if it's for a relationship or a friendship, I had somebody come, her parents met at a speed dating. So she's hoping to continue on that tradition of meeting at, it's a great story. And, you know, and every single speed dater there has a story, everybody has a journey in life and dating and everything. And people are looking to connect. A lot of people think, oh, the younger generation isn't interested in person stuff, but they are. They really are. And I just love hosting them, and it's really fulfilling. And I hope for many more events and years. So it's besinglenoMore.eventbrite.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook, Be Single No More. And if you want to reach out, about any questions you have or anything you want to ask or say, be single no more at gmail.com. And my name's Susan, and it was great to be here, Pete.
Well, thank you. And I got one little funny thing because I have been driving Uber for 8 years and I've done over 49,000 rides. So that's like 20 speed dating conversations every single day.
Yep.
So that's one thing that Uber has helped me with, having conversations with people I don't know. So
So
it's
cool.
kind of an interesting thing. So, but
It's really
Susan,
cool.
oh my gosh, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much. And I certainly look forward to more conversations. I think what you are doing is really helping the city of Philadelphia and the people. Now, you said, you know what, you said you also have events that you do in King of Prussia also?
I do. I do them in Center City and King of Prussia. Hmm.
Okay. Okay, so that's great. And people can check you out on BeSingleNoMore.com and
Well, be single
look
no
at.
more dot eventbrite.com. So I
Oh,
sell through
sorry.
Eventbrite, and that's okay. And Facebook and Instagram. Hmm.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Well, Susan, thank you so much for your time. And this was very exciting. And this is great. And this is really good for, all genres of individuals out there. So I think that's a great way to help people.
Yeah, anybody single looking to meet people, absolutely. And the speed friending too, just to people looking to connect and have friends. And this was great, Pete. I like I said, I think it's amazing what you do. And yeah, I'm always happy to share, my journey with Be Single No More. And it's been a great ride so far. And I continue to have events and get Philly dating.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. All right. Well, thank you, Susan. Be single no more. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on and sharing your story
You
with
got it, Pete.
Electric Pete. All right. Take
Got
care.
it. Bye
Bye.
now.
All right. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into Electric Pete. Remember, every rider has a story, and it's my job to share those stories with you. If you enjoy these conversations and want to help Electric Pete grow, especially to upgrade my video and audio gear, or even for even better episodes, please consider supporting the podcast. Your generosity truly makes a difference. Check in the show notes for how to do that. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and share Electric Pete with your friends and your family. Find me on social media or reach out anytime at electricpetepod@gmail.com. Until next time, stay charged, stay positive, and keep your eyes on the road ahead. This is Electric Pete signing off.